Hey, here we are on the brand new JSRL live broadcasting interwebs, whatever in the hell you want to call it. Jason Brown's going to dock my pay for that H word. But at any rate, man, Dirty Hillbilly Gorilla, Dan Smith here with the JSRL Spike Chassis Sprint Car Series. We're in Lakeland, Florida tonight at USA International Speedway for round number 2 of 13 of the JSRL Spike Chassis Sprint Car Series presented by Sam Pierce Chevrolet, Kenny's Components, and Hoosier Tire Midwest. But here's the deal, man. KR Stofless, you know, our Outlaw 77 man that's usually in charge, needed the night off, so I'm here filling in for him. But here's the big thing, man. As if the big announcement of JSRL Live's not a huge deal. We have some new broadcasters in the booth with us, commentators, and I'm going to introduce you to one of them right now. Mr. Ryan Kent Jr. is the announcer for the Boss Sprint Car Series last season over in Ohio. He does a lot of high school announcing and things like that. We do have cars out on track for qualifying right now. But Ryan, man, take it over, dude. This is your broadcast here on the debut episode of JSRL Live.
I've always been around sprint car racing in the open wheel world with sprints, midgets, silver crown cars, everything else. And I've pretty much grown up in the backyard in the shadow of the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. And obviously sprint cars are the pinnacle of the way that all these guys bust their balls and scrape their teeth to get to the pinnacle of motorsports. And it's kind of cool through technology now that even if you didn't have the money or maybe the gonads to strap into one of these, that you can do that here, and iRacing certainly offers that. And I've had a lot of fun with it myself, and I'm excited to now with here with you guys with JSRL to be able to call some of these.
It's going to be a pretty cool deal for sure, Ryan. And like I said, you're going to be taking the lead on the broadcast tonight. And I believe Brett Strickler is in the room with us too. Brett, why don't you give a little bit of history and bio on yourself there, man, and then we'll kind of explain what's going on with everybody.
Well, I just got into this whole iRacing deal probably around, I believe it was March or April, earlier in the year, just about when the game came out. And I've been around racing pretty much all my life, so dirt tracks, nothing new to me. We have a personally owned sprint car, so it's just a different aspect. We're going to be sitting in a booth tonight talking rather than behind a wheel, so we're looking forward to it.
Man, I'll tell you what, but in the booth scares me a little more than behind the wheel, whether it's iRacing or real life, man. You know, I know Ryan's got a lot of history with that. But Ryan, before we turn this broadcast over to you, man, I want to talk a little bit about this JSRL Spike Chassis Sprint Car Series. I know both you guys are rather new to the series and catching up, and qualifying looks like it's about over, and we'll be heading into the 8-lap heat race here in a minute. But this 13-race schedule, we've got 7 pavement races on the schedule, 5 dirt races, this being the first dirt race of the season, and 1 to be announced. And everything is with the 410 non-wing sprint car. But Ryan, talk to us a little bit about what you're looking forward to with the JSRL series moving forward this season and working in the announcer's booth.
You know, tonight, we're going to go 30 laps here at the USA International Speedway on the dirt side of things. There also is a configuration of this exact track in iRacing that is on pavement as well. But I think next weekend, the third annual Copper World Classic at Phoenix, that's pretty cool, going 40 laps there. I was lucky enough to be able to go there and see the World USAC Silver Crown cars there this season. Got Eldora on the Speedway after that, back on dirt, and I think that's kind of a cool component as it goes. To start off the season, it's pavement and then dirt and then pavement and then dirt and then pavement and then dirt and then pavement and then some dirt, and then we wrap it all up at Lucas Oil Raceway on January 22nd for 50 laps at IRP at Lucas Oil Raceway with the pavement cars. So it's that's the cool thing about this is it's very
wake up.
It's very wide open and unique that you can run dirt and pavement and really test guys to see who can be the best between the two of them.
I agree 100%, man. We got about 45 seconds here before they're going to start gridding up for the heat race, Ryan. So at this point, I want to say welcome, and Brett, to you too, welcome to the JSRL live broadcast booth. This is going to be a pretty cool deal with the JSRL Spike Chassis Sprint Car Series presented by Sam Pierce Chevrolet, Kenny's Components, and Hoosier Tire Midwest. But Ryan, like I said, I'm going to turn it over to you now, man. This is your baby. Run with it. Why don't you give us a rundown of the point standings and what's going on and kind of set the show up tonight, brother?
Thanks, Dan. Yeah, like I mentioned at Lucas Oil Raceway 2 weeks ago. Well, Dan, of course you want me to talk about that race because you won the daggone thing on the pavement there. So Dan was your winner, Dan Smith, and Ray Farlow came in second. Alex Orions third. Bruce Jones and Jim Big. Those two rounded out the top 5 at IRP.
There was some drama at the end of that race too, Ryan. I know you wasn't around then, but there was some major drama at the end of that race. But it looks like they're gridding up, so I need to shut my mouth and turn this broadcast over to you, don't I?
Not quite. I'm not going to hurt you or anything for saying too many words, but you can see a couple of cars getting lined up. There are qualifying results here tonight at the USA International Speedway, Lakeland, Florida tonight. These guys, they'll throw a different kind of spin on things, but the baseline setup shows 10 inches of stagger on these 410 cubic inch engine 9-wing sprint cars, which are that's about 900 horsepower, so that's a horse pony or two. But Ray Farlow, the 7-time series champion, taking your pole tonight with a 20.299. You can see cars now starting to make their way around the speedway here. Weston Newell will qualify second. He roll off in that second spot. Got a couple of guys that come to us via the qualifier race, where tonight the top 5 in that race: Bro Bunig, Brett Bartles, TJ Kelly, Tyler Chalk, and Kelly Jordan. Bro Brunig also running at IRP a couple of weeks ago in that Pepsi number 50, 6th at the Indianapolis Raceway Park. Back in that number 59, he'll start third here in our heat race. Cars making their way into turn 3 and 4. 8 competitors here with this heat race. Set to go 8 laps is the distance. Take these guys into the feature event tonight, going 30 laps, round 2 of 13 here at the JSRL Spike Chassis Sprint Car Series. Brett, just about time to let them rip. Tater Chip here off of turn number 4.
Yeah, it's looking to be pretty tight in this race. Track's looking pretty heavy. If you were to look at lap times, you would have said Weston Newell might have been your favorite for tonight's race event. 2/10 quicker over Tyson Landis in practice. A little bit of flip in the qualifying times there, Ryan.
For sure, and if you're curious about speeds here around Lakeland, this is classified as a half mile. In terms of the iRacing, I did mention that it is pavement, but iRacing also putting out a dirt version here of USA. Average speeds just a tick under 90 miles an hour in terms of average lap speeds. Pace truck rolls to the bottom of turn number 4, 8 laps the distance. Heat race action underway here at the USA International Speedway. Drag race into turn number 1 and 2. Guys try to find their different lines. Got a couple of cars banging that right rear tire up, and we got one over and around in turn number 1 and 2. That's going to bring us to a slow caution, I believe here. Might have been able to get that cleaned up quick enough. Drag race, meanwhile, back here on the front straightaway. Looks like they were able to get that cleaned up there in turn 1 and 2. Ray Farlow and Weston Newell able to duel out. Third place running Bro Brunig, not far behind there, sitting in third.
Looks like we got pretty single file out here. This speedway a little heavy right now, so you might not see a whole lot of moving around. Top 3 cars all look to be relatively the same speed.
Farlow this last time by, maintaining a little bit more than a 0.3 of a second lead over Brunig, Bartles, and Landis, who are top 5, followed by Bruce Jones, Dan Holmes, and Jim Big. Everybody able to work their way here off of turn at number 4 this time by. Now working in the middle of 3 and 4 off of turn number 2. Farlow going right through the middle of the speedway. And without a ton of cars here rolling these heat races, interesting to see how guys make some changes. We'll chat with 1 or 2 after our heat race here.
Yeah, your top 3 cars all looking pretty stout here. About the same distance each lap around. Almost identical speeds. Maybe Farlow just a hair quicker than Weston right now. Maybe pushing a tenth at the max, but they still remain about a half second apart between first and second, as well as second and third.
Ray Farlow, our leader, the 7-time series champion. Newell second, Brunig third. Bartles and Landis, your top 5 right now. Bruce Jones sits in that 6th spot.
Watch out.
Car stop. They're off of turn number 2. That's throwing some problems for your leaders. Working side by side in the middle of turn 3 and 4. Battle for the lead here at USA. White flag flying that last time by. Last lap. Both of these guys know that they're racing for the win here in the heat race. 3 car lengths the distance this time in a 3 and 4. Final lap around. Now Newell going to take a peek to the inside. See if he can get that bumper looking on Farlow. Farlow, the 7-time series champ, able to hold him off for him playing the heat race win.
Hell of a run, never sniffed you.
We had a pretty close run there coming to the line in turn 3 and 4 between Bartles and Tyson Landis. Landis, looking to the inside, happened to look and hook the inside wall coming off of 4, or else he might have had a shot at looking at the top 4 finish.
Ryan, I've managed to drag your heat race winner in quick time, your pole sitter Ray Farlow, up in here, brother.
Well, Ray, thanks for taking a minute here to chat with us. Man, you started on the pole and didn't look back from there. Seemed to be pretty good there.
Yeah, the car felt good. As the short heat race went on, it got a little loose. So I'm going to have to adjust on a little bit for the main. But yeah, the car felt good.
What kind of changes does it go through in terms of just this track tonight, in terms of you have to go 30 laps? That was just 8 laps. Get a little bit of a taste of what this USA International Speedway is going to throw at you tonight.
Oh, it's going to get slicker as the race goes on. And it was getting slicker. Just that short little 8 laps. I don't know. I'll probably mess with the right rear spacing or something for the main event.
Well, Ray, time to get out that stagger tape, brother. Appreciate the time. Best of luck in the future event.
Thank you.
So once again, Ray Farlow able to win our heat race there. Weston Newell comes in second. Bro Brunig third. Brett Bartles fourth. Tyson Landis rounding out the top 5. Those top 5 all in the feature event, along with Bruce Jones finishing 6th. Dan Holmes 7th, and Jim Vig rounding out with 7 laps down. Him and Holmes getting involved in that incident there on the first lap. Our feature event set to go 30 laps. Watching the JSRL Spike Chassis Sprint Car Series from the USA International Speedway. Be back after this. Chassis offers a large inventory of open-wheel parts, race car setup, fabrication, and machine shop services for all of your winning needs. Check out #WinWithSpike or find them on the web at spikechassis.com. That's spikechassis.com. Also powered by Sam Pierce Chevrolet, offering the best Chevy deals in the country at Sam Pierce Chevrolet. Visit them online at sampiercechevrolet.com to check out their inventory today. JSRL Sprint Car Series also brought to you by Kinney's Components. Kinney's Components specializes in design consultation, engineering, production, and custom fabrication to meet your exact specifications and needs using advanced composites such as carbon fiber, Kevlar, fiberglass. Kinney's is dedicated to building high-quality composite products for all types of racing machines. Find them on the web at kinneyscomponents.com. Also brought to you by Hoosier Tire Midwest. Hoosier Tire Midwest is the largest Hoosier Racing Tire Midwest distributor in the United States, serving the Midwest through warehouses in Indianapolis, Plymouth, Indiana, and Springfield, Illinois. From drag strips, road courses, oval tracks, dirt and asphalt, sprint cars, midgets, late models, and even street cars, Hoosier Tire Midwest has winning tires for all of your needs. Check them out on the web today at www.racetires.com. Once again, welcome back here to the USA International Speedway in Lakeland, Florida. The site tonight of round 2 of 13 2017 JSRL Spike Chassis Sprint Car Series. I'm Ryan Kent Jr., Brett Strickler alongside Dan Smith and Jason Brown. Also in here on your broadcast tonight. Well, Brett, we've got a 25-lap feature right ahead of us here in Lakeland.
Yeah, it's looking to be a good one. We had 2 really stout cars, make it 3 between Farlow, Newell, and I believe it was Tyson Landis coming across third. Is that correct there, Ryan, in the heat race?
I believe so, yeah. We'll quickly run down for you your heat race finish. Taking the win was Ray Farlow. Second place went to Weston Newell. Third to Bro Bruning. He also won your qualifier tonight. The qualifier is an open opportunity if you yourself are on iRacing and you want to try to get an opportunity to run with us here with the JSRL Spike Chassis Sprint Car Series. You can pay attention Monday nights and pay attention to the JSRL Spike Chassis Sprint Car Series. You can yourself, if you run well enough, you can get an opportunity here to race with the big guys. And coming in third there was Bro Bruning. Coming in fourth was Brett Bartles. Fifth, Tyson Landis, followed by Bruce Jones, Dan Holmes, and Jim Vig for your heat race lineup there. Finish there. 8 laps was the distance there in that heat race, and now we're set to go 25 laps. A couple of guys making their way around. Practice so critical here with these non-link sprint cars, and you know, we did get a chance to talk to Ray Farlow there, Brett, and it was interesting to hear what he had to say, and I'm curious how some of these guys make some setup changes in these non-wing sprint cars with the track conditions and everything else going on right here at Lakeland. Should be interesting and exciting to watch here tonight.
Yeah, definitely a different track surface we got here for the 25-lap A-main event. Heat race, definitely a lot heavier of a track. Didn't allow for much moving around. It was kind of a one-lane track. If you could really drive the car well, you might be able to get 2 lanes. But here in the warm-up here before the feature, definitely a lot slicker. Looking like we may have 2 grooves. Definitely some movement on the racetrack. Look forward to seeing a few guys maybe work their way through the field and make this night a little interesting.
That is for sure. And a lot of these guys have to get out their stagger tapes a little bit, start to make some changes to these non-wing 410 cubic inch engine sprint cars. Take a moment now. Take a look at your starting lineup for tonight's feature. And again, 25 laps is the distance. Starting on the pole, car number 72, 7-time series champion, finished second at the Lucas Oil Raceway 2 weeks ago. 72's Ray Farlow, and to his outside, finished second there in the heat race. The 22's Weston Newell.
Rolling off third, row number 2, P3, driving to number 50, Bo Brunig. Outside of him, driving car number 2, P4, rolling off will be Brett Bartles.
Starting fifth, he finished 10th at the Indianapolis Raceway Park 2 weeks ago. Car number 4, Tyson Landis, and to his outside from Sioux Falls, South Dakota, in car number 7, the Lucky Sevens, Bruce Jones.
Rounding out your field, row 4 inside, car number 83, residing out of New Jersey, Dan Holmes. Starting 8th, bringing up the field, will be the number 17 of Jim Vig. Jim Vig, also another New Jersey native. He's the second New Jersey native in the field. They will tag the rear. Hopefully they can represent themselves and move their way to the front.
Yeah, and if you were watching our heat race there, you're just now joining us though, Dan Holmes and Jim Vig, first lap there of the heat race, Brett. They did a little dance together in the middle of turn 1 and 2. Don't know how they were too happy with each other. Maybe they were able to go back and take a look at the replay, but interesting to see a couple of those guys have heat race issues, but we do have 25 laps, and I'm not great at math, but that doesn't mean you have to pass a lot of cars at the beginning.
Oh, no, definitely not, Ryan, but definitely in the heat race, when the track is as heavy as it is, it usually doesn't provide for as much opportunity. You get a hole, you got to take it as soon as you possibly can. The sooner you get to the front, the better. Just like how Ray and Weston, they probably feel pretty confident with where they're starting, doing so well in the heat race.
Once again, set to go 25 laps here tonight. Ray Farlow, fastest in warm-ups as well, down to a 20.9 second lap. He joined us after his heat race win. He set quick time tonight, fastest in the warm-up, and he has more than a 0.3 of a second quick time lap so far tonight. But right behind him, though, he's actually going to start third. Your inside front row two starters, Bo Bruning, also in the 20.9 second bracket. That inside line there, Brett, could be interesting to watch because rolling on the bottom entering turn number 1 here on the start.
Yeah, expect the guys to be pretty easy going into turn number 1. We don't want to see anybody get bound up. It is a pretty decent race here for the wingless 410 sprint cars, 25 laps around the USA International Speedway in Lakeland, Florida. I would like to keep an eye on somebody deep in the field. The number 3 of Tyson Landis. Tyson, late in that heat race, started to really get his car underneath of him. It was looking to go for 4th coming across the coming to the checkered flag, but a little contact. But we are underway for tonight's 25 lap JSRL 410 wingless race.
And right away, we've got cars bouncing around, up and over. I think that's back there Jim Big in that 17 machine. Cars in the middle of turns 1 and 2 going up and around. Still, meanwhile, look back at the front, side by side this time at the stripe. And a heck of a battle there for your lead between Weston Newell and Ray Farlow. Newell able to lead lap number 1. Guys rolling high side of the speedway off of turn number 2 down this long back straightaway.
Bit of a battle going on back deep in the field for position number 5, looking for a top 5 run early on here in the first 2 laps. Dan Holmes just took a position and will complete the lap ahead of Bruce Jones in your 5th position.
Weston Newell, a good run so far for him tonight. Did come in 2nd to Ray Farlow in the heat race, and now leading him here in the feature event. But interesting, though, you talked about how this track changes, guys. They know the money lap isn't early on. It comes a little bit later. Have to kind of wait and just see what kind of a car you've got down the stretch. Don't use up your tires either here in the slick.
No, definitely not. I personally know Weston Newell. As he hit into the wall, almost collecting Farlow off turn number 4, he got his car back underneath him and will get a nice run off of turn 4, even though he got into the fence a little bit there. But Weston Newell, I know him a little personally outside of the JSR racing series, and he's definitely a driver that prefers a slick track and can move around, so he will definitely prove to be a tough competitor tonight.
As Dan Smith says, that was like a Thomas Meseraull move, biking it in there, riding the bicycle, and trying to grab some flowers along the way. Weston Newell, your leader, giving everybody a little bit of a heart attack that time off of turn number 2 as well, as he rockets down the back straightaway into turn 3 and 4. These sprint cars, these non-wing sprint cars, wing sprint cars as well, they have a left front brake. There's no brakes on the right front, so when you stab the brake pedal, that thing instantly gets just absolutely turned sideways. Start carrying that left front tire through the air, but on one heck of a show here with these non-wing sprint cars.
Your race leader, the 22 of Weston Newell, looking to open up the gap now. Do take note, we do have 1 car off the speedway, the number 2 of Brett Bartles. He is off the speedway. We have 7 cars currently on the speedway, and the lead looks to be improving here, Ryan. Weston's looking really strong.
Also a good battle starting to heat up a little bit for that 2nd spot between Ray Farlow and Bo Bruning. Talked to Ray Farlow after his heat race win, and he was talking about making some changes. Maybe the changes there in that 72 pit weren't quite what they needed here for this little bit more of a slicker track. But now you see Weston Newell, he's going to test out the bottom, see what it's got 1 and 2. Meanwhile, your 2nd place runner, Ray Farlow, goes up and over. Yellow flag flies. Trouble for your 2nd place runner, your heat race winner, your fast time qualifier, Ray Farlow, up and over in 1 and 2.
Don't count him out just yet, Ryan. If he doesn't have too much damage on that car, you might see him come from the tail end of the field and back up to the front. As we know, Ray's been very, very stout in the wingless sprint car here.
Take a look at it as he goes into 1 and 2. Just cook that thing in there. I talked about brakes, and to get that thing sideways and start being able to turn, you have to be able to use those brakes. And it obviously here with iRacing, you don't have a stuck throttle, but maybe that lead foot started to get a little bit of him, and he kind of jumped up and over that cushion, and that wall came up really, really fast when you're going about 100 miles an hour on the entry to the corner. Big problems for your second place running man, Ray Farr, the 7-time series champion, with problems here on lap number 11, getting close to halfway through.
Under yellow flag here, that's still number 72 machine. Looks to be underway. Ray, we're hoping he's all right and the car's not too banged up. He seems to be tucked up under the pace car, so hopefully iRacing will not put him a lap down and he will remain on the lead lap.
And you see Farlow there, he had turned some really good laps, turned the fastest lap so far tonight in the warm-up as well. And he will be a lap down. No lucky dogs here with the JSRL Spike Chassis Sprint Car Series. Big time problem there for Ray Farlow. So not only is he going to have to go to the tail, he's also going to be a lap down. And now you see him making his way by that pace car. Now, could Bo Brunig possibly make a chase as well?
We did have a tight battle going on. Currently back, well, I should say currently, I think it's already passed. The 3 of Tyson Landis and the 83 of Dan Holmes, again, I mentioned them earlier. They were pretty tight. You could throw a blanket over the two. They were battling for position. But it seems to be that Tyson is strong enough to hold on, and he was the benefit of that Ray Farlow caution there as he now moves up to a P3, also looking to chase down Brunig and Newell.
Green flag, green flag.
So we do have 12 laps complete. 25 lap feature event.
We're back underway here in the JSRL Sprint Car Series. Farlow, as we mentioned, has remained on the lead lap.
So Farlow will tag the tail. See what he can do if he can make his way through. That bottom working well. Newell able to rock and roll on the bottom side of the speedway, and as he comes off, right in the middle, start to drift up a little bit. He's got about a second lead this time as he works into 3 and 4.
Newell opening up that gap on the lead there. He had a second last time by the flag time. This time by he has gained nearly 0.3 of a second at a 1.2 second advantage.
Weston Newell with 10 laps to go. Good battle there for second as well. Bo Brunig, Tyson Landis. You talked about Tyson Landis there, starting to make his way forward, Brett.
Yeah, he's looking pretty decent in the third position. He just pulled a wheel stand in the middle of the corner, and these wingless cars are known to do that. With lacking those top wings and front wings, the cars really don't have as much downforce as one may anticipate, and definitely proves to be tough to handle.
A dominant lead out front for Weston Newell, the Kirksville, Missouri native in that Boulevard Brewing Company Spike Chassis Farlow Motorsports machine. Did not elect to run on the pavement at IRP 2 weeks ago, but running very, very well and leading out front by almost 2 seconds here at USA on the dirt. As we rock and roll on lap number 18. Talked about trying to control that front end. These non-wing sprint cars don't have that downforce. There's no aerodynamic dependency. It's all about the nut behind the wheel and what they can do with it to control it. A whole lot of throttle control, trying to feather that throttle, play with the brakes as well.
Meanwhile,
you can do to get yourself to the front.
Number 83 of Dan Holmes, who's battling for position, is into the turn 3 and 4 wall. He will lose 2 spots.
Also news that Ray Farlow has dropped out of the race. Too much damage to continue for him. He joins Brett Bartles as DNFs here tonight. But Weston Newell leads Bo Brunig, Tyson Landis, Bruce Jones, Jim Big, and Dan Holmes still alive and kicking here. Bo Brunig starting to catch Weston Newell. Newell making gain on the bottom side of the speedway. Brunig chasing after him on the high side.
We mentioned earlier that the lead was at a 1.2 second advantage. 2 laps ago, that was down to 0.8. This time by is now at 1.1 seconds as we come off of turn number 2. Bo Brunig definitely looking to be closing the gap there, Ryan. Could he have something for the number 22 of Weston Newell?
And for Newell, it depends on what he's got looking inside the car. Now 0.3 of a second to lead in terms of what he can see, and how much does Bo Bruning show him his line. Working here on lap number 22. It's almost a drag race into turn number 3. Bo Bruning working on the high side of the Speedway. Weston Newell down low. A duel here at USA International Speedway with about 3 laps to go.
Newell on the bottom. Bruning on the top. Will Bruning get run on turn number 2? He has been strong off the corner.
We're here working lap number 23. Did Bruning take up a shot? Trying to gain some momentum there on the high side of the Speedway. 2 laps to go this time by working lap number 24. Bruning still able to hold on to the high side of the Speedway. Newell down low. 2 car lengths the difference this time in a 3 and 4.
Newell's advantage is nearly down 0.3 of a second as they come through turns 3 and 4 to the white flag. Bruning all over the rear end of Newell as he looks to the outside going across the finish line. Give it to Bruning as he takes the white flag.
He leads his first lap on the white flag lap, and it's around the high side of the Speedway. These two work off for turn number 2. Final time down the back straightaway through turns 3 and 4. Newell going to take one final peek on the bottom side of the Speedway. He takes the lead coming to the white. He wins round number 2. Bo Bruning wins at USA International Speedway.
Coming across second, leading the majority of your race, the 22 of Weston Newell, and I mentioned earlier the number 3 of Tyson Landis coming across on your podium position in third.
What a finish there, coming to the white flag. Bo Bruning able to grab the win from Weston Newell. Bo, you're joining us now here, your post-race chat, and man, you took a chance there on the high side of the Speedway, able to work your way forward. Get a little nervous at all that maybe you kind of gave your line away there with as laps counted down there inside 5 to go?
Not really. I just knew if I hit my mark, I figured if I hit my marks that they weren't gonna. I didn't think he was gonna be able to beat me on the bottom. The top is always pretty good here. So,
how comfortable were you after the heat race? You know, it was only 8 laps. You knew that there were only 8 cars entered here at the feature event. So just get comfortable and start to move your way forward and figure out what worked for you in that number 50 machine.
I was pretty comfortable. I mean, the heat race, the track was much tackier. It's much wider. It was, it's a lot easier to keep your momentum up. But I've raced here plenty of times, and I know that when this track gets slick, it's all about being smooth and hitting your marks more so than it is being fast. And early in the race, I didn't get all the way up to the cushion, and especially in 1 and 2. And once I started getting up to the cushion in 1 and 2, that's when I started running back down.
Well, backing up your 6th place finish at Lucas Oil a couple weeks ago, you get the win here on the dirt. Not a bad start to the season for you at all.
No, I can't really complain. I'm not really much of a pavement shoe, but we give her hell on dirt, that's for sure.
That's for sure. That's Bo Bruning, brother. Appreciate the time.
Thank you, guys.
Chat now with Weston Newell. Weston come away with a 2nd place finish there. I got to ask, are you disappointed with the bridesmaid position there?
Oh, definitely. I came to win tonight. It didn't happen. Hats off to Bo. He ran a good race. Came away with the win.
Above anything, this wasn't like the NASCAR finish. At least it was 100% clean. It was really, really exciting to watch you two duel it out. At least if anything else, a lot of fun racing here tonight with round number 2. And even you trying to catch early on with Ray, seemed like you look good out there tonight as a whole.
Yeah, the car felt good. I had a little bit of right rear damage. I'd gotten to the wall earlier in the race, and I was just carrying it. I couldn't go up to the high side of the Speedway. I didn't feel comfortable up there, so just had to try to make the bottoms work as best I could. Just didn't work out for me today.
Weston Newell comes away with a 2nd place finish. Appreciate the time.
Thanks, guys.
Meanwhile, let's chat with Tyson Landis. Tyson started back in that 5th spot, able to get on to the final step of the podium. About 5 seconds back, but a big gap back to the 4th place guy. Not a bad run for you here today in that car number 3.
No, not a bad run. I was trying really hard to catch those guys, but they were just a little bit faster than I was.
And you knew that. Yeah, I mean, you had to be thinking that if anything else, and those two guys made contact together, that hey, you were the next guy up there, right?
Oh, definitely. I just started thinking, don't hit the wall, don't hit the wall.
And what was it tonight? I mean, being able to watch those guys, you saw the leader roll on the bottom, you see the second place guy roll on the top. Was it through the middle for you? Where did you exactly feel best? And just trying to figure out here, Lakeland.
The top was the best for me, but it was hard to hit for me. I was kind of hit and miss. I'd get in the middle, then slide up to the top, and it just wasn't very quick. But I tried to hit the top.
Tyson Landis, a 10th place finish at IRP, comes away with a top 3 tonight. Appreciate the time. Best of luck in the future events.
Thanks. Have a good one.
There's your final feature rundown tonight. Bo Brunig with the feature event win takes the lead, coming to the white flag over Weston Newell. Tyson Landis, your top 3. Bruce Jones and Jim Vig round out your top 5. Dan Holmes, the last car to finish on the lead lap. And then Ray Farlow led early and then had problems and he flipped in turns 1 and 2. Brett Bartles also rounds out the field tonight. Brett, a great race from top to bottom, man.
Yeah, you can't help but wonder what it might have been like if Ray Farlow could have kept that car underneath of him. He was looking really, really good in the feature. He almost looked like the car, or I'm sorry, he looked really good in the heat race. He almost looked like the car to beat as he had a nice lead over Weston there, and pretty much dominated that heat race. We thought maybe he would do the same in the feature, but that track slicked off, and Weston's experience may have showed a little bit. It's just with these wing cars, it's tough. You back it into the wall once or twice, you bend something, and they don't handle the same anymore. So, as Weston stated, he couldn't work the top side like Brunig, and Brunig was able to get the job done tonight.
Take a chat now with our other 2 men in the room. Dan Smith and Jason Brown come back here and join us. Dan, I'll start off with you, man. As Brett said, it would have been really, really fun to see Ray Farlow, to be able to see him stick around because, man, that battle within the top 3 and even the top 4, I think Tyson Landis gave him a few more laps and he was there as well. But an exciting round number 2 of 13 tonight here at the USA International Speedway.
I agree with you, Ryan and Brett. That was a hell of a race, especially those last few laps. It was fun to watch it play out, and it was fun to watch those guys really go at it hardcore with each other. And they gave each other some room. They bounced off of each other a little bit down the straightaways. And Bo, we talked about that a little bit before the broadcast started. That we thought Bo might be one of the strong cars that we needed to watch tonight, given his experience from the other sim. We'll just leave it at that, huh? At any rate, yeah, but Ray Farlow, what the story tonight. I think that's a story coming out of round 2. Jason, I think there's another story that we need to be talking about, and that's this debut of the JSRL live broadcasting deal. Ryan Kent Jr., Brett Strickler, K.R. Stoflis, who's not here with us tonight, but we'll be here every week. I think round number 1 of that deal's under the table, man. I agree, man. And Ryan, if I can for just a second, man, I seriously want to give a big shout out to you and Brett. Hell of a job tonight on the broadcast. And I want to touch on something that you mentioned during the broadcast, Ryan, and you've done a good job of educating the people that small car count here tonight with the JSRL Spike Chassis Sprint Car Series. For the pavement race next week at Phoenix for the Copper World Classic, you're going to see about 12 or 13 cars in the feature race there. And Ryan, I'm going to dump it back to you. You've done such a good job of explaining how people, why the car counts the way they are here with the JSRL Spike Chassis Sprint Car Series. So toss it back to you, man, and we'll preview next week, and we'll get out of here. How's that sound, guys?
Sounds great to me, and appreciate all the drivers and all of you fans watching at home here with round number 2 here at the USA International Speedway. The 25-lap feature event is now complete. Take a look at what's coming up, what's coming forward for us. After a week off last weekend, we now move full-fledged forward. Only week off is right at Christmas. So next weekend, 3rd Annual Copper World Classic at the Phoenix International Raceway. That will be 40 laps next Monday night, November the 6th, with the pavement sprint cars. And then after that, we go to the legendary Eldora Speedway, and then we go to Irwindale, Williams Grove. That's four pretty big heavy hitters there, fellas. Go from Phoenix to Eldora, Irwindale, and Williams Grove. There's a famous racetrack in there too, I would say.
Just maybe one or two, huh?
After that, we'll wrap it up with Iowa, Five Flags, New Smyrna, Lanier, and then we've got a to be announced. Stay tuned to our social media pages as well here with the JSRL Spike Chassis Sprint Car Series. That to be announced, set for January 8th in the 2018 new year. Then Volusia Speedway Park, always cool there at Volusia, such a wide and open half-mile down here back in the Florida State. And then we wrap it all up at Lucas Oil Raceway, January 22nd for the 50-lap season finale on January the 22nd for round number 13. Fellas, any final comments before we wrap this one up here tonight?
Just want to direct everybody to jskins.com, to the JSRL website, which is jskins.com. They can find all the information on past races, future races, how to join, how to get through the qualifier series to qualify for the JSRL Spike Chassis Sprint Car Series. Just another shout out to our sponsors, Ryan, Sam Pierce Chevrolet, Kenny's Components, Hoosier Tire Midwest. Brett, you got any final thoughts before we get out of here, man?
I'd just like to say thank you to Dan and Jason for the opportunity tonight. It's been a pleasure, as well as working beside Ryan as well. Ryan definitely did a one magnificent job, and looking forward to maybe getting another chance to do this again. It was a great race. Congratulations to Bo Brunig, Weston Newell, Tyson Landis, all on the podium. Looking forward to seeing you guys go back at it once more.
Ryan.
I'm going to second your motion. I'm going to cut in on Ryan there. I'm going to second your motion, Jason. Can't wait for KR to be back up here with Ryan and Brett or whoever shows up next week. And Jason, that's his mine at Phoenix next week, brother.
Absolutely, guys. Well, if you guys don't have anything else for our entire 2017 JSRL Spike Chassis Sprint Car Series, this has been the live broadcast with iRacing and the 410 non-wing cubic inch engine sprint cars from the USA International Speedway here on the dirt. Catch us next week, November the 6th, on Monday night. 40 laps under the sun at the Phoenix International Raceway. But tonight, USA International Speedway, Bo Bruning grabbing the big win. For Brett Strickler, Dan Smith, Jason Brown, I'm Ryan Kent Jr. Until we meet again, good night from Lakeland.